Welcome back.
I misspoke last time and I said that it was episode 11. This is in fact episode 11.
Episode 11. Here we are.
Do you remember how to say it?
No. Chemo brain, long weekend brain.
You had yourself a time this weekend, didn't you?
I did. And my lymphedema
Is popping.
Is popping. Like, I feel like you can rate how good of a night I had or weekend I had based on how big and puffy my arm is. And it's really puffing out Pillsbury Doughboy style.
You know what we call it in my family is salt chin.
Oh.
Where you consume like alcohol or just eat like crap and you wake up the next day and you have an extra chin because you consumed like so much salt.
I
You're just
love that.
swollen.
Yeah, for real. I sat in the sauna this morning for 30 minutes trying to get rid of salt chin.
Where do you go? Does your gym have a sauna or where do you go?
Oh, I went as a guest since my gym closed and I still don't know where I'm going. I went with my mom to a local gym, the JCC, and I was a guest. And all I did, I literally just went. I didn't even work out. I sat in the sauna.
I mean, my old gym in Chicago was like truly one of my favorite places. I miss it so much, but it had a sauna and a steam room. And when I was sick, I was thinking to myself, like, God, I would love to go like sweat out all of this illness. And I couldn't think of anywhere around here where I could just pop in.
Well, breaking news, and sorry, Modern Vitality, if I'm giving anything away.
Are they getting a sauna?
They are.
Oh.
Free marketing for them right here, right now. Modern Vitality is getting a sauna.
Wait, when? Soon?
Soon-ish. And salt's involved.
Like a salt room?
Uh-huh.
Oh my, okay, we definitely have to do that. Speaking of Modern Vitality, and the latest,
we talk about them so much.
The latest installment of I Try Things So That You Don't Have To, I did a BBL Moxie and a BBL, not to be confused with the Brazilian butt lift. I would like to do that. But it is called, I think Broadband Light is what it stands for, and it's a facial treatment. I look absolutely insane. I got my hair colored on Friday, and so there's like hair stain on my hairline. No shade against my hairstylist, she's amazing. It's just my skin picks it up so easily because it's so dark when I get it dyed. And then I have the aftermath of my BBL Moxie. I wore a hat yesterday when I went out and also like your skin feels so weird.
Yeah, it does. It feels like a little bumpy.
Like coffee grounds.
Yeah, well, your skin's looking great. Look at you. Good self-care. You got your hair done.
Thanks.
You got a facial.
Thank you.
Here I am just rolling around in the grass, St. Patrick's Day style.
How was your St. Patrick's Day?
I didn't actually roll around in the grass. I don't know what that analogy was for, but I did sing a karaoke song. I'll make a man out of you, Mulan.
Was it Mulan?
Duh.
Love that.
And I went down to Front Street.
Where's your karaoke there?
Mario de Barrio in some basement.
Or did you just grab the mic?
No, I harassed this girl until she put me first. I was like, I promise I'll get the crowd going.
Did you?
It was so loud in there, but the people in the first half of the room were clapping for me. The last part, they were like, what is this woman? And I did a breast cancer shout out. I'm like, this is to anyone that grew up in the 90s and also had breast cancer.
Also, Sarah is a local celebrity. She got spotted in the wild by a listener.
Stacy, thank you. You're amazing. I felt so cool, let me just say. She said, I recognized you from the podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm cool.
That is, honestly, that would make me feel pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so
I'm proud of us. So yes, I had a great weekend. It was a lot of fun. But, then you pay for it for a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I understand that. So Rocco was in Chicago for St. Patrick's Day this weekend, and I texted Carly, didn't go with him. Carly and I are similar to where Rocco, I feel like, definitely an extrovert, where his social, like, he's recharged by being around people, and Carly and I are like, we'll just be alone, we're fine. But Carly didn't go with him, and so I texted her on Saturday, and I was like, I kind of have a little bit of FOMO. I would love if I could transport myself into the middle of the crowd in Chicago and be drunk for like an hour, but then snap my fingers and like be back in my bed and be sober in Ohio. Like, I just think, I just needed like a little taste of what it looked like, and like it looked really fun, but I didn't want to commit to the whole thing.
Yeah, that is a commitment.
Yeah, so
a taste as in like wanting to be in the party scene or wanting to be drunk or wanting to have some beers and loosey-goosey.
Kind of all of it.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, in the moment of drinking, I'm always, like, having so much fun. And then, oh my God, we didn't even mention that we have our sweatshirts on.
I was just picking a fluff off, but we got to finish this thought. Okay. Our ADD break.
So, yeah, I sometimes do really miss, like, the in the moment feeling of it. I also feel too maybe a little self-conscious, like, am I lame? Like, am I not fun when everybody else is drinking? And so I think that's part of it as well.
I mean, I was out with you and you were RDD and sober, and I would not have known otherwise. Like,
Okay, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel
I didn't know what
better.
to expect. I was actually kind of nervous.
Were you worried I was going to be like a dud?
Yeah. I mean, I know you're not a dud. I know your personality, but I've never been out with you out. And, you know, I know you choose not to drink, which is great. But I was like, oh, I wonder how she's going to be in, like, this party scene, you know, breast cancer gala on the dance floor. And you hung, man.
I love a dance. never met a dance floor I did not
Yeah.
like. I also, like, not because I can dance, I look I look like a drunk uncle at a birthday party. Like, I have no moves. But it just, also, they were playing, we already talked about this, but
bangers.
They were just playing absolute bangers. And so, yeah, I mean, that is where I'm like, I get so caught up and I'm like, oh my God, I would love to be ripping shots right now, but, like, it just is not worth it for me.
Well, and you still did, you were still hung. You still were hung.
You were hung.
You were hung. And you're very responsible, I will say. Well, and just in general with your health and stuff. And so you don't, like, wake up the next morning like I did yesterday and I was like, oh, I hurt, my body hurts, my knees hurt.
I always make this argument, though, because my friends, like, where you're at in your life, the amount that you're consuming, I feel like still wasn't equal to what I was consuming when I was drinking.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't have really a lot of responsibility. I don't have children. Like, my social scene was very much going out. And I'm not even saying, like, drinking in excess. It would be, like, a dinner on a Tuesday night where I had a couple glasses of wine. Like, I just feel like that's why I scaled back.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, like, every once in a while. I could probably do that now, honestly, but I've just gone so long without doing it that I don't really care.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. I see, like, why some people may say, like, oh, you're so responsible, but I'm like, I don't know. Also, like, it was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I pretty much stayed home all weekend. I went out yesterday with my family because it was my aunt's birthday. I just don't really have much of a desire to put myself in the mix, you know?
For sure.
But, yeah. So, anywho.
And here I am. I get a babysitter for 24 hours, and I go totally unhinged.
You don't, though. You had a good balance. Don't say that.
I do have a good balance. Thank you
went
for
out.
the reassurance.
You went out. You had some fun. You also painted. Like, you did responsible adult things, too.
A lot. Yeah, we did.
How's it look? Do you take pictures?
We took pictures. We're actually repainting a lot in our house just because we are getting our floors done, and it needs a facelift. And I said, why not? I said, I'm doing it for the plot, y'all.
Doing it for the clout.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those that can see us, if YouTube will work.
Oh my God, the YouTube. Okay, also the YouTube episode it's very hit or miss. I feel like I haven't addressed this and I want to quickly.
Tell us.
Sometimes the camera will die, which is so frustrating. One time the camera was out of focus. Another time my phone died because sometimes if we have a guest, like, I have to film us with my phone and then film the guest with the camera. And so I feel like it'd be weird if it was just on the person the whole time and you couldn't see anything that we're saying. So sometimes if there's not YouTube videos up for the 3 people that watch on YouTube, that's why. It's not because I'm just, like, choosing not to. I'm just trying to figure it out. But I have faith in that this will go up on YouTube. Continue.
Oh, no, you're good. And thank you, just truly. Bree does all the behind the scenes, like editing, sends me the videos to post on Instagram, cutting our coughs out, recording. So, like, thank you. Snaps to you. Like,
you're welcome. I do enjoy doing it. Sometimes like on Saturday, perfect example, I was trying to piece together Chelsea's episode, and I didn't have enough storage on my computer. So, like, that's the stuff that slows me down. And then the other thing that I was trying to insert, like, an SD reader, and it wasn't an Apple SD reader, so then I had to go to the Genius Bar to be like, why does this keep ejecting? And they're like, just buy one of ours.
Oh, that sounded sexual. A lot of injecting and dejecting and the hand motion. Sorry, mine in the gutter. She's going to the Geniuses and they're dejecting her. That's all I heard.
The Genius Bar was like, you got it on Amazon, it's faulty. And I was like, I don't know, this feels like you're trying to hustle me. But I bought it. At the end of the day, I bought it.
Oh my God.
Well, because
these are the things that she doesn't tell me she does.
Well, and to be fair, Sarah, I also do a lot of social media for the cafe. So it's not just like, it's going towards a lot of other things.
Okay. Well,
so don't feel bad.
Thank you.
Anyways, this episode will be on YouTube.
And if you notice, we have drum roll. All right, The drum roll's not coming out of my mouth today. But we have new swag.
And they're great for spring. They're nice, like springy
pink
and blue.
And light blue and a navy.
I like the navy one a lot.
So we will be rolling out a website that has the capabilities, hopefully, to purchase these.
So it's not just going down in the DMs and Sarah's trying to manage it all.
I've never felt so just, cool and wanted. Everybody creeping into the DMs. I was like, we got so many people up in here. This is probably how you feel all the time when you put your dating profile out there. Brie can't keep up with all her DMs.
I put thirst traps up often. Obviously, everybody knows this. But one time, I don't even know what was going on, but I handed Rocco my phone, and he was like, "Why do you have 16 direct messages?" I was like, "Oh, it's people responding to what I posted." He was like, "You have 16 people that respond to your stories?" I'm like, "Yeah, do you not?" And he was like, "What it must be like for a girl on Instagram." And I'm like, "I'll have you know that 15 of those 16 are my girlfriends that are commenting on it, and then mom." It's not it sounds
all these dudes.
Wait, no, my DMs are dry. They are dry. But speaking of dating, I was set up on a date. And I
to tell.
I did it for the plot, obviously. And I went out on this date. My first mistake was going to Ken Stewart's, which is my sister-in-law's restaurant. And Rocco knew that I was going there.
Oh no, Rocco, what did you do?
So I was trying to be polite. I don't know. Well, you haven't been on a date without Phil in 100 years. But I try not to look at my phone because I think it's rude if you're on your phone during a date, regardless if it's a good date or not. I just, also at dinner, I try to keep my phone away, period. So I didn't have my phone out, obviously. And I'm sitting there at dinner, and the manager comes up to me, and he goes, the manager of the restaurant, by the way, and he squats down and whispers in my ear, "Your brother's to-go food is in the bag right here." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Your brother called the landline of the restaurant and said, 'Tank, I know my sister's there having dinner and I really want her to bring home food for me, and she's not picking up her phone, so can you please take my to-go order, add it to her bill.'"
No.
And then
add it to her bill?
I don't think that he paid for it. Maybe he did. I don't know.
So did your date pay for it?
No, I was like, I will obviously be paying for the food that my brother ordered.
Oh my god. So then did you pay for that?
I think I did.
Rocco added to her bill?
I think
This was his first test to see if he liked this guy.
To be fair, when I got home, he's like, "Well, I didn't know it was a date." And I was like, "Okay."
And also, he assumed that you were going to come home.
That's what I said.
Food.
That's what I was like.
You're having a good old time.
It was a Friday night. What if I was going to go out?
Yeah. What if it was going to be, another place? 2 places. I'm a 2-place girl.
Yeah, I didn't. So he obviously knows me very well.
That's hilarious.
I know. So
Rocco using his flex.
No, he was like, "Well, I didn't know." Which also he has my location, so I feel like even if I would have told him, he would have been like, "Oh, wherever Brianna's going to dinner, that's where I'm going to get my to-go."
Hilarious.
So that's what that.
So is there gonna be more or no?
I don't know. It was a mutual friend, and it was just nice to catch up too. So if nothing else, but yeah, it was pretty funny. And then
that's hilarious.
I told you before we started recording that I think I might just delete Hinge. I know I've said that a lot, but I think I might just get rid of it
for a little while.
I think I need to because I think it's just but I matched with this guy who's 2 years older than me. Single dad of 4 kids, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I said to Sarah before we started recording, I feel like I'm still at a point in my life where I am so focused on myself. And I think that you need to be really selfless when it comes to kids. And I think you have to be very delicate and compassionate if they're not your own kids. Because regardless of where this would go with this guy, they're not my kids. And I think I just don't know if I'm ready necessarily to take that on. And that's nothing against this guy.
Yeah. Have you ever dated anyone with kids?
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I just don't know if maybe also 4 is a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I haven't heard from him, so I guess it doesn't matter. But it just made me think a little bit more. Damn. I don't know if I'm like ready to take that on. So.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And I think that's fine to admit. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right. That is a lot.
Yeah.
And, yeah, a lot of split time. And if it's going
Yeah.
to go somewhere, which is, you know, how it is. But, yeah.
I've gone on a date with a couple people with kids.
Yeah.
But my first question, and the most important question, I think, is like, what does your relationship look like with their mom? Because if it's a mess, I will not be getting involved in that. Like, yeah. I believe that, and it's easy for me to say this, not having children, but like, I believe in healthy co-parenting. Mm-hmm. I believe in like the necessity of having a relationship with the child's mom. Like, those would all be things that I would feel very strongly about. And if I'm out with you and you're like, oh, their mom is a nightmare, or she's crazy, like, that to me is a bit, ooh, I don't know.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Right, not cool, man.
Yeah,
not cool.
No. Before Phil, obviously.
Sarah was like,
in my mid-20s, I had an older man phase.
Yeah, but also in your 20s, I feel like that would be tough with kids too. How did you manage that?
Well, I mean...
Did you ever meet him?
I did.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Was it hard?
It didn't. It fizzled out fast after that.
Did you meet their mom? Did she know about you or no?
Yeah, and that wasn't a good situation either.
So that's so hard. And it's like, how do you, just being so brutally honest right now, like, how do you prioritize putting those kids first when they're not your kids? Like, that's probably a tough thing to do.
Yeah, and for you, you're looking for something serious.
Yeah.
And, you know, entering into a possible relationship. I know this Hinge guy is nobody, but, you know, just, you know, taking those steps, that's a lot. That's
I know.
a lot to...
And again, I'm not opposed to it. I just think it would have to be, like, kind of a specific situation for me to feel comfortable. And that's not to say that my level of comfortability is, like, necessarily correct, but just to even, like, consider
It's real. It's real. So it might not be politically correct to say or the most sensitive thing to say, but it's real. It's very real.
Speaking of politics.
Update us.
I don't want to get too into this because I feel like I'm the horse is glue at this point. I've been beating it so dead. But
I love these analogies today. This might be our second base after dark episode again.
We need to do that again also. We have some things in the works that we will be doing after dark. Not in a weird way. That sounded weird. I didn't mean to.
All of these comments today are leading to this topic, I think. So you beat the horse.
I beat the horse to glue, and I feel like my family and friends are tired of me talking about this, but I do think this is important to bring up. So a couple episodes ago, I think it was maybe 2, I talked about what was going on in Alabama, and I was a little bit nervous to talk about it, to be honest. Number one, because I don't feel like that's necessarily what this podcast is about. But it did affect the breast cancer community, so I felt like it was important. And number 2, I always just really, really, really like want to lead with compassion on people's opinions and their religious beliefs, and I don't ever want to feel like I'm making somebody feel bad about like their decisions or what they believe. And to be very transparent, like my parents are religious people, more religious than I am, I would say. I didn't necessarily know like how they felt about that topic, and I'm not saying that they disagreed with me. I just like we hadn't had a chance to talk about it. They've been out of town. And so they called me after the episode dropped, and they were both on the phone, and they both were like, we're so extremely proud of you for talking about that. We want you to know that we support you, that anybody else in the breast cancer community that is potentially being impacted by this, like we essentially like we're your ally, whatever. And so my dad said like I didn't know a lot of that stuff until you started talking about like what the implications would be. I also want to mention that it was so nice, and I think I'm bringing this up because we talk a lot about survivorship and how you can support somebody that's in survivorship, and I think honestly just let's not overcomplicate it. Just support them in whatever it is they're going through, you know? Like I think me feeling like I was heard in that situation was such an amazing feeling. They did reverse a lot of what's going on in Alabama, and it moved very quickly through court.
Great.
The reason that I know this is it was on the news, but TikTok. Maybe on TikTok. I don't know how I will get my news, so let's hope that doesn't happen. But fast forward a couple days, and again, like I'm recognizing our privilege here, but my dad, without me asking him, reached out to one of our local government officials and said, I want to understand what is going on in Alabama. I want to understand how you plan to make sure that this doesn't happen in Ohio, and what can I tell my daughter to reassure her, and also like to communicate that to people that maybe are also worried about it.
What? What?
Yeah.
He called a government official?
Yes. This government official reached out to me. I didn't know.
What?
And he said, hey, I spoke with your dad, and I want you to know that, and I feel like I can say this, but maybe I can't. But anyways, he said in so many words, we don't ever want to take IVF away from people. I feel like I'm leaving it anonymous enough that it's okay for me to say it. And I said, at the end of the day, again, I don't want to get in the weeds of politics. I don't think that that's what this is about. I don't think that it should be a political issue, but it has become one. I just want to say that if you're listening, and you don't need to go as far as my dad went, right? But just to pick up the phone and be like, hey, I see some things that are going on in the news that could potentially impact you. Whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant. It's just I want you to know that I'm here to listen if this is something that you feel strongly about. And again, you don't have to agree with them. I think that that's where a lot of people maybe pull back on having these conversations, because a lot of times people disagree. And I think that that's what makes relationships so beautiful. If you surround yourself with people that feel the same way and think the same way as you, I mean, how do you ever see the other side, you know?
Right. I totally agree.
So I have very strong opinions. My parents have very strong opinions. They don't always align with one another, but I felt like it was a very, very healthy, loving conversation.
I love that.
And I just wanted to shout out my parents, because they've been so supportive of everything that I do in life, but especially through this chapter specifically. And they just really showed up for me in a way that they knew was something that was important to me. So I love them so much, and I'm just so lucky to have them. Yeah, it was. And again, I didn't ask them to do that. I didn't ask them to listen. I didn't ask them to even have a conversation about it, but it was really nice.
Shout out to them. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's support. That's just great. And like you said, you don't necessarily have to agree, but just hearing each other, being able to talk about it, or just offering your support. Yeah. So that was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree too. And I think, again, sometimes people don't know what to say or how to support one another. It's just do what you would normally do. Just show up for your friends and your family.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. So it's reversed in Alabama then?
I don't know exactly. They went through, and I can read the text message. And again, I think it's okay to read this, but they said that it went through the court system fairly quickly.
So that's good. I mean, because IVF is just not a breast cancer, issue either. There are many women that struggle with fertility, so I just love to hear that for women in general.
Totally. It said that they had a special session in the Alabama House, and Senate passed a bill to guarantee IVF access. It was passed in one day and signed that night by their governor. And I also, full transparency, I haven't looked into those details yet, just to understand them. And also to primaries in Ohio happen tomorrow. So if you feel compelled to do your civic duty, go on and vote.
Yeah.
And whatever you feel is aligns with your beliefs. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody. Do what you feel is right.
Yeah. Well, by the time you would listen to this episode, it's over.
Yeah, so hopefully you voted.
Hopefully you voted, and cheers if you did.
Yes. So that is that. I wanted to specifically just say my parents,
beautiful.
They're the best, yeah. So I felt very, very heard in that.
Yeah. And we've been getting some great, not to change the subject, but to change it. We've been getting some great feedback on our episode with our dietitian last week.
Yes. Did you have anything that you implemented after our episode?
Yes. So she said the full flaxseed, you need it ground up.
Yes,
so
I actually went and bought some.
I have whole flaxseed, so I just took that out of my lineup to put on my yogurt, because what's the point of eating it? And I bought chia seeds.
I did that too.
Yeah, basically that's it. But I kind of eat Mediterranean-ish.
Yeah. I think if nothing else, this is me just really patting myself on the back, but I felt like it was a lot of what we know, because me and you have also put in a lot of work to meet with these specialists and everything that we've gone through with our health. And so it kind of felt good just to be reassured, hey, I'm doing all the necessary things. I thought the two biggest takeaways were the 4 added sugars or less was a really good rule of thumb.
Was it 14 grams or 4 grams?
14. Sarah, that's a lot. 14. It was 4. 4 added grams of sugar.
Okay.
Added. 14.
I was looking at bars the other day.
No, it's crazy. Those Perfect bars have like 10 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's like, and it's added sugars. So I thought that was a really good rule of thumb. I thought just having a variety in your diet of like the plant-based foods was really helpful. I thought the soy.
Yep. That was reassuring. About soy. We can still eat soy.
Yes. I made a chia seed pudding that was very good.
Oh, yummy.
And you need to bring your whole flax seeds over so that we can
do
make
a facial.
Mass.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Bree sent me the most bomb meal, like so healthy. I think I was eating like my leftover kids, like corn and macaroni and cheese and mashed potato pie.
Okay, that was
Bree
like...
sends me like greens, sweet potatoes, fish, something pudding, and I'm like, oh my God.
That wasn't meant to make you feel
No,
bad.
I was proud of you.
I ate potato skins, fries,
Life's about balance.
A chicken Caesar salad wrap yesterday. Like, I went ham over the weekend. So I usually try to eat a little bit healthier during the week so that I feel less bad. I ordered like,
for you.
My parents ordered food, like takeout. And my dad asked if I wanted anything, and I said, no, I like already made a bunch of food, and so it was what I sent you. And then I was like, I will be taking a piece of cheesecake, though, to your order.
Yeah.
So that is my balance. And that had more than 4 grams of added sugar, let me tell you.
Yeah, it is balanced. I wish we would have asked her about, like, is there an 80-20 or a 90-10 rule? Have you heard people talk about that? Like, if you eat 80% clean, then you feel good about the 20% you don't eat clean. We didn't really get into that, but...
You know what's interesting is that when I met with the nutritionist that I had in Chicago, I don't remember like how I worded this, but I said kind of just the math that you do when you're consuming foods that you deem unhealthy, where I was like, oh, I'll have like 1 piece of pizza on a Sunday night, and then I'll wait until Monday to eat the other 2. And she's like, but over the course of your life, like how does your body doesn't recognize that like there was a day in between that. At the end of the day, like you ate the whole pizza. What does it matter if you had it like on Sunday? If you had it over 3 days, you know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, I thought that was also a good perspective to have too.
Yeah.
So pretty much that feedback to me was eat the whole pizza in one sitting.
Yeah. Drink the dirty martini.
Yeah, do it. So I felt like that was a really amazing episode.
And thanks again for coming on, Chelsea. We appreciated it.
Agree.
So excited.
What else do we have on our note?
Yes. I have a lymphedema update.
Tell us.
So I'm going to be meeting with my surgeon. You guys know my boy.
You love him.
I do. If he ever listens to our podcast, which he won't, I'd be mortified. I think I told everybody that I have a low-key crush.
Yeah,
Me and my mom blush every time we see him.
You blush.
She does. She said some also very wild things too about him, but I can't say that on there. And basically, so we love him. But anyway, I have an appointment coming up and I'm going to talk about my lymphedema with him. So as you guys remember, I had that test with the dye injected in between my fingers to see if my lymph node transfer took, because they said it can take up to 18 months after the surgery for it to work. Well, great news. I have 5 areas in my upper arm that are flowing way better than the scan that I had prior to having this procedure done.
It's so exciting, Sarah.
So now the problem is, from my hand to my elbow is where my fluid's getting stuck. If you look at my measurements, like my upper arms are closer in size, but my lower arms, my left arm is significantly larger than my right arm. So we are going to talk, and I'm not committing, this is where I'm at, about transferring lymph nodes. Apparently you also have a lot of lymph nodes in the back of your neck.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he mentioned this before, so I'm just going to go to get more information. I'm not signing up for anything. I'm not saying this is the right thing, and it's very experimental. I don't even know if my insurance would cover it, but a possible lymph node transfer to my elbow or my wrist.
So, question.
Lots of questions.
Could you have a lymph node donor?
I know. I'm wondering this too. So I think that it would have to be a live donor, because when your tissue dies, you die. So it would literally have to be somebody like on life support.
Or could it be like your mom or somebody?
Oh, like that. Look at me, I'm already on cadaver status.
You know what I mean though? Like if you were a match, or no, is that not a thing?
I don't know. I don't think it's a thing.
Okay.
Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like it'd be very specific if it was. Like you'd have to have a... But that's a great question. I'm going to ask him that.
So this is also maybe a dumb question, but like where do you attach the lymph nodes in your like wrist and your hand?
I think too, just other, like he could string them into my other lymph nodes or put them in there somewhere.
I need to see like a YouTube video of like, or like something AI generated of like how this
How
is
is
done.
it going? I know, and it's obviously it's a microsurgery, so it's a very long surgery. And like I said, still gonna talk to him about it. So I made an appointment just to see if there's options. He mentioned it before, but we never sat down and had a serious conversation about it. If I do decide to go down that path, my physical therapist Ellen is going to talk to him, and we're going to have everybody on board. I also want to make some lifestyle changes. It's not about the scale, but I'm really, if I can lose, about 10 to 15 more pounds, that'll at least put me in a healthier weight. I want to see if that helps me with my lymphedema as well. Because when I got pregnant with Ben, I knew it was the extra fluid that caused it to become a lot worse. But, with that was the additional weight. So I want to try some lifestyle modifications first and make sure my diet's clean. So this is not a rushed process. But that's what's going on in my lymphedema world.
Here's another question that I thought of randomly when we were talking about fat transfer and all of that good stuff. And maybe this is a question if we get a plastic surgeon on. But when you do fat transfer and they can take it from your legs or your stomach, you said sometimes they take it from like your arms as well.
Yes.
Could you not do that if you are struggling with or could I not even do it because I have no lymph nodes on my left side?
Correct. So you want to avoid any type of trauma to the area if you have lymphedema, right? A mosquito bite, a bug bite, a sunburn, all of those things. So I can't, normally if they do a fat transfer to add fat to your breasts or implants, you can't use your arm if you have lymphedema.
I thought of that. I was like randomly laying in bed when I'm thinking
Correct.
about that. So that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they say, no trauma to that area. But yeah, look at my hand. It is a lot worse, people, but it'll get better over a couple days of water.
You haven't been wearing your
So I have not been wearing my sleeve because my hand has been bad and we think it's getting trapped in a certain area of my hand, like below my thumb. Details that people don't need to know. So we're trying no sleeve for a while and seeing how it goes. But it's an ongoing process. It's a pain in the butt.
So
my fingers swell. It hurts sometimes. It looks horrible today. So if there's a surgical measure that I can do for this, I'll try the lifestyle stuff first, but I'm just going to get some more information.
Is there any side effect to taking lymph nodes out of the back of your neck?
Right. That's my question too. Could I get neck lymphedema? And then at that point I'd be like, damn it, I should have just kept my hand lymphedema.
But that you could cover with your hair at least.
Oh God, I already have a buffalo hump back there.
When you said that you had a buffalo hump when you were going through, I don't even know if it was when you were pregnant or when you were with your treatment, I was just beside myself.
No, but I also have a very prominent backbone, like a C5 vertebrae. So anytime I bend my neck down, like I remember as a kid, people would make fun of me because it's very prominent. I'll show you when we get off air. It's like a hidden talent. You want to see my large neck bulge?
You have a lot of very specific talents when it comes to your body and what you can do, I feel like.
Thanks.
Mostly twerking.
Twerking!
I had really bad posture. I had to actively work on making my posture better.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was worried I was going to develop a
buffalo hump. Well, wait till you see mine. I asked the doctor about it before and they were like, yeah, you just got an extra skin pad back there. So me and my patty neck.
All right, so when's that appointment coming up?
Yeah, in April.
Okay. That's
so
exciting.
that will be happening. All right, what else is on our note? Olivia Munn.
Okay, so Olivia Munn, I meant to text you this and ask you, and I forgot. Olivia Munn just posted on Instagram that she was diagnosed with breast cancer in February of 2023, so over a year ago.
Okay.
I'm piecing things together and making assumptions. I don't know if this is true, but it seems like she caught it pretty early. I don't know if she went through chemo. She did a double mastectomy. But she called her type luminal is not the right word, but it was something, the way that she categorized it, I had never heard of it before, and I think it was what I had.
Oh.
But I hadn't heard it referred to that way, and I wanted to know if you had, because again, I am not a doctor, so what do I know? It is called, she also said that she did the BRCA, and that she was negative for BRCA.
I just burp on air.
Was that a burp? Was that a burp? I didn't even hear it.
Okay,
good. Did you?
Yeah. Sorry. Turn us down. Cut this out.
I missed it. Did you like open your mouth?
I don't know. Maybe it was just a silent one.
Silent
We are
but
bad.
deadly.
This is just, we're an unhinged episode right now.
Luminol. Luminol B. Have you heard of that? Isn't that what they use to like see if there's blood on a crime scene?
Luminol B is an aggressive, fast-moving cancer. I've never heard of Luminol B, but I don't know.
So then
we'll have to look it up.
So then I Googled it.
Yeah.
Because that's the most reliable way to get your medical information.
Duh.
And it looks like it's mine.
With progressive similar to that of... Okay, so maybe it's just estrogen receptor negative.
Oh, negative?
Wait, estrogen receptor positive
Right.
and HER2 negative.
Right, which is what I had.
Okay. Maybe it's just the name of it? I'm not sure. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was
TBD.
that was interesting.
She's sharing her story.
Yeah, a little bit, and also she doesn't need to.
I know. I can't imagine living under a microscope like that either.
I have no desire.
What if well, I don't know. If we make it big, we may. And then the world is in for a show, y'all.
You know what? I just had a conversation last weekend about this where I said, like, I don't know if I'm cut out for the keyboard warriors on the internet. I've probably said this before. Like, I just think people can be really mean. And I don't know if I have the mental... Well, also the good news is you handle our Instagram, so maybe I wouldn't even see it. You would have to handle all that.
I'll just be really nice to the trolls that come into
You
my
probably
DMs. I'll be
would
like,
be.
thanks for coming. How's your day?
Oh my God. I hope you
peace
have
and
the
love.
day that you deserve.
Yeah. Oh my God, if a camera followed me around this weekend.
I wish it would have, because I would have had a front row seat to that with popcorn.
Man, yeah. It was fun.
I don't want to see myself on camera. Drunk, by the way.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
But yeah, I guess it's probably a good thing. Nobody has a front row view to anybody's life. And yeah, I just can't imagine that.
Well,
I
Phil
hope she's
has
fine.
a front row.
True. Whether he likes it or not.
Anyways,
Don't know.
anything else?
Let's see. I don't think we have anything else on our list.
Okay.
So
We don't know what our next episode is, by the way. We've got some things
Chef's
in the works.
Choice.
Chef's choice.
We have some guests coming on, and we just don't have our schedule yet. So we'll see. Maybe we'll just get more after dark content.
I think that's what maybe we need. We need something. You need to have I want you to have one dirty martini and then get on the microphone.
Oh boy. I don't know, but we're gonna get an E next to our name if that happens.
E. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening, and go check out the merch. We're really excited about it.
Yay!
And yeah, ciao for now.
Ciao for now.